Good day and welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. And in this video, we are going to be covering one of your requests. So one of you asked me to do a little bit of a deep dive into the spouses of the princesses of York. So we're going to be looking at Edoardo, Edo, Mapelli, Mozzi, and Jack Brooksbank, the spouses of Beatrice and Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. So we will be right back. This is going to be a reaction to what's going on with their father-in-law. So I will see you in just a second. Welcome back, my tarot maniacs. I'm so glad that you guys are here. We are fast approaching 8,000 subscribers. So if you're new here, thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying the content. I'm still tinkering with the lighting in the new studio. And I did have to move a little bit further away from the bookshelf because I was about to knock it over every time I leaned back. One of the cool things about having the new studio space is that I am finding that I am reclining my chair and watching movies down here. So after I'm done with work, I've been watching movies. I'm trying to not do that. I think it's not a good idea. I want to actually have a real life outside of the basement occasionally. So, we are going to be talking about the spouses of the Princess of York. So the spouses of York, we'll call them. Edoardo, Edo, Mapelli, Mozzi was born in London. He's from an Italian noble family. His family holds the title Count, but it is not used in the United Kingdom. He is a successful property developer and the founder of Banda Property. These are things that I did not know about him. And he's known for being extremely close to his mother and stylishly low key. So very, very cool guy. And as most of us know, however your guy treats his mother is how he's going to treat you. So keep that in mind. So if he's very close to his mother, I love that. Now, Jack Brooksbank is a little bit different. He is a former brand ambassador for Casa Amigos Tequila. That is Randy Gerber and George Clooney's brand of vodka. He has a background in hospitality and luxury event management. He had some things to do with Soho House. He's very naturally friendly, which most people in hospitality are going to be. And he's often described as a social glue personality. Doesn't sound great. Currently works in the wine and spirits world with an emphasis on fine beverages. So we are going to explore how these two feel about the recent demotion of their father-in-law. Presumably, when one marries a princess and a prince, your father-in-law is a prince of the blood, presumably that is a good thing. And it's going to open up some doors for you. It's going to be interesting. This was kind of pulled out from underneath them. So I want to see how this is going to affect their households, their marriages, their long-term plans, and their public exposure. We're going to dive right in. I'm glad that you're all here. Quick reminder, I did a community post today. Black Friday sales are up and running for Otter Spirit. So the code 35, Fortune 35 for 35% off purchases of 99 or more are going to be in effect. So go on over there. You can stack like me. I mix it up all the time. I've got my aquatic agate, jade, moonstone, and the aventurine on today because I needed some peaceful stuff. I also need to bring the money in because Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. Thanksgiving's coming faster. So we have got to make sure that we've got enough to spoil Gregopedia, my children, the pets, everyone. I need a bed for up there for the kitty cats, and I definitely need a new camera. So that is on my Christmas wish list this year, to get some new cameras in here. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a better view. I'm bringing up the card view now. Hit that like button. And again, thank you so much. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing, because I am trying to get to, well, 10,000 is like my big number that I'm trying to get to very, very quickly. But we're almost at 8,000. So according to my metrics, only about 60% of you are subscribed that are watching my videos. So that 40%, I'm calling out to you. Give me a sub. Follow me. I do lots of cool stuff on here. I do lots of lives. I try to do lots of lives. So hopefully I will see some new people popping up in the chat and also on the subscriber roster. So let's go and talk a little bit about Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi first. Again, he's extremely private despite his large social circle. He co-parents amicably. He does have a child with Dara Huang, who speaks very warmly of Beatrice. Like, this is a really great situation. They got engaged, him and Beatrice got engaged in Italy, not in the United Kingdom. So that's a little bit different too. And their wedding was darling. It was during the pandemic, but it was darling. She wore a rewear of one of her grandmother's dresses, the late great Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II. And she just looked amazing. The flowers, they really made the most out of it. So it was really, really great. So let's see what Edo's true feelings are about the demotion of Andrew. And I'm going to make this nice and big so you guys can see it. I hope you're having a great start to your week. What are Edoardo, what are his true feelings about Andrew's demotion? He does feel to a certain degree that there were a lot of players involved in this. I think he has some less generous views on his mother-in-law. I think he likes his mother-in-law and he likes the fun that she brings to the table. But I do think that he finds her more of the keystone in the demotion of Andrew. I think he really does think that she did some interesting things that he was wrapped up in. The communications, the emails and communications that have been released, I think he believes that they put lots of stuff into question. So this becomes much more acceptable. This, he kind of did it and he's got to reap what he sowed. So I do think that those are his feelings about it. Is there any emotional impact on him? Does he care? Remember, he comes from a noble family. Does he really care about this at all? Not a hoot, really. I do think that there are some considerations of, couldn't we have just kept this quiet and in the family? I think there is some consideration of that. But at the end of the day, he understands legacy and preserving that legacy. He does understand that. So what would his advice to Andrew be? This is an opportunity for Andrew to not have the obligations and still live and still exist in the manner in which he's accustomed to. So I think a very positive outlook that he would give to his father-in-law. You just got to kind of deal with this. So what is Edo's perspective on Beatrice's role in the royal structure now? So how does he feel about Beatrice's standing being potentially diminished, altered, changed in some fashion? How does he feel about the role that his wife has in the British monarchy at this time? He thinks that she is a fantastic contributor and that they only need to look at her track record and her duty to crown and king. He does secretly fear that they are going to remove things from her, and he does want her to maneuver herself so that she does look like a contributing person in the family. In his estimation, her role has been altered, but is not yet confirmed. He thinks that while the role is altered and they're kind of putting a lid on the York family in general, that through her efforts and through kind of presenting her timeline of good service to the queen and to the king, that she can kind of correct that action if they are going to cut her out and still find a place in the royal family that is going to be representative of good works and things that she can do to promote and help the family herself. So I think he has a very positive outlook for what she could do. Does he think that that's going to happen? No, I think he is under the impression that they may yoink all of the work from her. What would he do in that circumstance? He would be sad for her, but the knowledge, ooh, this is neat. And I like the way this guy thinks. He would be very sad for her because it is a change of circumstance, and it is kind of a revolution of self when you are expecting to be one thing through your whole life, and then all of a sudden, yoink, it's gone, and you have to be something different. He wants her to dig deeply into the person that she knows that she is, and in that she will find success. They don't want for anything. I don't think that he is concerned about losing stipends or payments or anything like that. I think he is more than capable of taking care of that. What is his family strategy behind the scenes? What is his strategy behind the scenes? So what is he advising her to do privately in regard to her father's situation? We know what he's advising her to do in terms of her professional role, but in her relationship with her father, what is he advising Beatrice to do? Don't shut him out. Still treat him as if he is the leader of your family, which I think is fair enough. Fair enough. Under the surface, buoy him up. Buoy your father, the former Prince Andrew, up. He's going to need it. I think Edo is very astute. I think he does understand that everyone is very sad and upset about this, and she needs to step to her father with a great deal of love. When Andrew, father, the man formerly known as Prince, when Andrew exhibits irrational or feisty behavior, she can walk away. She is capable of walking away and going about her own business. So that, I think, he understands that there's an emotional volatility in this whole situation, especially with Andrew. I think mother-in-law dear is not making it easy either. I think she is a little bit bent out of shape about what her piece of the pie was in this situation. So but that's maybe for another day. If you guys want me to do that reading, what the boys think, or what the in-laws think of their mother-in-law, let me know in the comments down below. I will deliver if I can and if you want it. So I think that he is telling her, preserve your own sanity. If your father is whipped up into a fury about this, step away, don't be involved, and just kind of take that back seat to it. So I think fair enough. But he does want her to extend herself with solid and good emotion. So what concerns does he have about Andrew's demotion affecting his own brand and personal financial interests? Oh, he kept them separate. Absolutely. He is his own man, rock solid. He is not worried about it. It's unfortunate, but that messaging does not touch him. That messaging does not affect Edo because his family's ducks are all in a row. This is that strong legacy card. This is strong legacy. So even if there are sad things, we can be emotional about it. We can feel something about it, but we don't have to be steeped like a tea bag in it. And over here, communication, he's just not going to get involved, get disruptive with it. The more he stays away from it, we don't hear a lot of speeches from him. He's not jumping up and grabbing microphones or anything like that. I think the more he stays away publicly, the better his own business will be preserved. So I think he's doing just fine. What about his level of involvement? Is he stepping into the background or taking an active role in supporting Andrew during this transition? Let me help you move, father-in-law. I do think that he is willing to give him a hand to get out of Royal Lodge. Let us help you. Let us help you get this sorted. We're going to make it the best Christmas ever. So I would not be surprised if Beatrice has already offered to host for Christmas. We all know they're not going, I guess, to Sandringham. They're not going up there. They're not, the Yorks are not invited, or at least Andrew's not invited. So let's see where the girls go. But how sad that your father is like exiled and then you go and have a happy Christmas with the extended family. So I think that Beatrice and Edo are probably ponying up and saying, hey, we'll host, everybody can come here. So I think his level of involvement is, I'll help you move, I'll help you pack up Royal Lodge to wherever you go. And, we'll take over the holidays until everyone gets settled. We'll take over the holidays until everyone gets settled. So let's leave Edo there. Let me know if you want me to do a reading on how he is feeling about the Fergie situation, the mother-in-law. I've been very lucky. My mother-in-law was fantastic. She was fantastic. My first husband, his mother had passed away when he was 18, so we had not met. But my mother-in-law was an absolute peach. I knew her my whole life. She taught me how to count in Japanese, ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roko, hichi, hachi, kuju. And she also taught me how to eat with chopsticks. And she gave me a lifelong love of seaweed. I love seaweed, especially seaweed salad. It is my favorite thing in the whole world. So I was very, very fortunate. I'm so grateful every day that I had such a wonderful mother-in-law while she was still with us. So let's read on Jack Brooksbank. This is Eugenie's husband. So some fun facts about Jack. Jack met Eugenie during a ski trip. He was known for being charming, steady, and unusually low drama. Jack and Eugenie actually lived in Portugal for a time when his job with the luxury hospitality, due to his job with the luxury hospitality entrepreneur. So let's see what Jack's feelings about Andrew's demotion are. How is he feeling about Andrew's demotion? I don't think he's as well healed as Edo. Oh, it is exposure and destruction of this branch of the family tree. He has fully latched on to that branch. He wants to be a part of it. Star in reverse. So one of the things is that I think he would like to turn that beat around. I think he would like to make this a bit of a sunnier situation for himself. Feeling very exposed. We have 9 of Wands in reverse and a 9 of Cups in the upright. This exposure to the greater world, this exposure to the plebeians that are out there is extraordinarily disruptive to him. And so his thinking is, how do we make lemonade out of these lemons? How do we do that? And I do think that this is the written word. over here. This is a nasty written word. This is spare. This is mommy dearest. This is all of the books that were engineered to vilify another person. That's what this guy is. And I do think he is whispering in someone's ear, perhaps we need to write a story that will rip the lid off how things function in the royal family. Do I think that this is going to be done overtly by Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank? I always want to call him Crookshanks, but he's not a Harry Potter cat. So I think that they will give the information over to another person and let another person write this tell-all tome from a well-placed source, that kind of thing. I do think that revenge is on his mind, but he does not want it to affect him. Revenge. So revenge indeed. So the impact on Eugenie and their children. Does Jack feel protective, worried, indifferent? How does he view the impact of Andrew's demotion on his royal family? Semi-royal family. He's biding his time. He's not happy about it, and he will let people know that he's not happy about it. You know, I do think he is of the opinion, I don't want to see any of their faces again until they give us some assurances. We want some assurances. We want to be certain that we will endure. Quoting Michelle Pfeiffer from Dark Shadows. We'll endure. So I think that this is, I don't know if he is litigious per se, but I think this is a person who is somewhat litigious and would try to get blocks, get holds on things through legal matters. I think he is one of them. He is a lot unhappier in private than he's letting on in public. So a lot unhappier about the destiny of his children. So what kind of guidance is he giving Eugenie in private? Let's do a little yellow brick road here. What is he advising her? The path. Expose them all. Moon in reverse. The pressure. They're going to take it all away from you anyway. This is a classic case of someone who is jumping the gun before there's any plan in place. He is jumping the gun with this. The hidden hand is that they don't know what they're doing with Eugenie or Beatrice at this point. The royal family does not have a final word on that just yet. Public face. Expect to see good works out of Beatrice and Jack. Expect to see good works. They're going to show up when they need to. The kids will be all spiffy and smart, but expect to see them flexing a little, doing a little action so that people can see it. Private goal. Private goal is to tear things out by the root. That Page of Pentacles tears things out by the root and upheaves everything. His likely pivot in what he's telling, bring down the king. Yeah. Bring down the king. Expose and bring down the king. Revenge. But to what end? Let's get a little bit more. What would that do? And I do think that the king that he is looking at is William, not necessarily King Charles. I think that Jack Brooksbank thinks of William as a regular person. He does not think of him as a king because they are too similar in age. I think his presumption is that the king should be older and wiser and, like a parent. Whereas William, he sees as an adversary. He sees him eye to eye, and he is willing to go toe to toe with that individual. And I do think that this is to disrupt happy marriages. Now, one of you had written that Tom Sykes has been talking about how hard it was to keep William on the porch. And some of my British friends asked what that meant in the comments. Keeping him on the porch is like keeping your dog on the porch, like your dog, when females call, they go. Those intact males will go and hang out. They won't stay on the porch. And the inference was that William is straying around behind the back of the Princess of Wales, or has been known to do that in certain circles. So I do think that this is an exploitive conversation about that. I think this perhaps is the bombshell that if they were going to relay information to a ghostwriter, that this is what they would relay, that William was kind of a runaround, that he did have his cake and eat it too. Or I should say have his cake and eat it too. Ha ha ha. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to believe that William was a runaround at any time in his life. I don't want to believe it. Cards sometimes agree, but I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it, kids. So, what are Jack's concerns about his and Eugenie's place in the future of the monarchy? So how does he see where they are going to end up? What is his truest belief on where he thinks they are going to end up when all of the forest clearing is done? He thinks that they are just going to be embroiled in the beef forever. Concern about more information. There's no escape for them. We got 2 cards on this. His concern is that they are going to be exiled from the family to a certain extent. Asked to hand in your locker key. You can't have your key to the locker room anymore at the country club. I do think he's worried about that. I also think he's worried about the stipend, the money that they do accept from the crown. So, this doesn't have to be an actual stipend, but it's access to different vehicles, access to royal family cell phone plan, Royal Bell, access to all sorts of perks and things like that. So it's not just that people that are royal adjacent get a grace and favor home, or that they have a stipend. There are other benefits that come along with that. So getting to go to all the poshest parties, getting to go to all the fun stuff, that he is worried about that. But there is a financial impact that he is concerned about. So will they have to live less than? Will they too be asked to move out of their home? So we're going to do a little yellow brick road for Beatrice and Edo. Okay. It's a little bit different from the yellow brick road that I ordinarily do. This is one I just came up with for this reading. So, and if you'd like your own magical reading, you can book with me. I'm going to be open on Hipsy like a lot. So if you go over and become part of my community there, you'll get notified when I go live. I'm trying to go live as much as possible. You can order recorded readings. There's a huge 75% off discount for any reading that you purchase from me if it's your first time, by video chat or phone. And if you order any readings, you can get discounts on those as well. Those are pre-recorded. I do those here and then email them. They get emailed to you directly from the app. So it's actually pretty cool. I'm picking up some speed on it, and I'm getting some of you that are using it are telling me that the app is really great. So so far so good. It's been working out great. So Beatrice and Edo, where they stand now, extremely vulnerable. They are actually kind of adrift and really questioning where they're going to land on their feet. So that is something that's here. Challenge on the path is the alliances that are already there and the alliance that they have with her father. They really can't get around that. Loyalty is as loyalty does. And this is one of the reasons that the Russian imperial family was all liquidated, because they could not trust that Alexei or one of the grand duchesses, that at some point progeny from them would come forward and reclaim the throne in imperial Russia. So they had to get rid of the entire family. And if you notice, they did execute the Tsar's brother Michael, who he abdicated in favor of, and they also executed Alexandra's sister and lots of people that were surrounding the imperial family. You have to think in those terms, that you have to rip things out by the root. I said that for the second time in this reading. So helpful allies or energy, they have to be, everyone is backing away from them. And I always reference this, Harvey Keitel. Harvey Keitel? I think it was Harvey. No. Who was it in Dusk Till Dawn, Greg, that became the vampire at the end? It was who played Bad Lieutenant? Harvey Keitel. Yes, Harvey Keitel. I thought I was saying that wrong. There's a scene from Dusk Till Dawn where he is turning into a vampire. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. And the crowd of vampires is around him, and they all stop attacking him and start to back off him. And he turns around and he's got the crazy eyes and everything. So the royal family is kind of like that, and the courtiers and the people surrounding the royal family, they are, and I've said this before, everyone's on hot alert, because everyone knows that if Andrew goes, Harry may go. And despite my reading yesterday, I'm taking a lot of heat for that, guys, taking a lot of heat for that. But everyone knows that they're kind of a hot spot, and to back off that and not make any promises, not talk too much, just polite conversation. So that is the helpful energy or allies. Unfortunately, that means that they don't really have a lot of allies in the moment. So maybe that will change. Action that helps them move forward. The Hierophant in reverse, not seeking power, not seeking those accolades and things like that. Don't talk about it, be about it. That's a New Jersey term. Don't talk about it, be about it. And I hate it. It's one of my phrases that I hate. But here they really have to demonstrate to the crown. This is the seat of power. They have to demonstrate to the crown through their action how they will behave moving forward. Is the crown watching? Not necessarily. Are the courtiers watching? Absolutely. So they just have to tread very lightly through the next few months. The action that helps them move forward is injustice, which is I'm sorry. No. Injustice is, I'm sorry, the hidden influences on their journey. This does not bode well. Does not bode well. Best possible outcome. Chariot. I think they stay. I think Beatrice and Edo stay in a gray area for some time in the royal family. I think that's where they wind up being. I think that has everybody towing the line. If you don't know if your head is on the chopping block, you're going to behave very carefully. You're gonna take some very careful steps there. So I do think that is what's going on. So mind your step, because we're never going to be formally said you're out, and we're never going to be formally embraced because you're tainted. So I think they get to stay in a gray area, which is stressful and not fun at all. So let's do a yellow brick road, a little different again for Eugenie and Jack. Starting point, emotionally and situationally. This is prior to the announcement. I don't think that they are great when they have to sit down and kind of put pen to paper and try and get things done. I think they are. I think they're shit talkers behind the scene. I just do. I think they're surprised at the banality of the plebeians like you and I. I think they're very surprised at it. Like, oh, I can't believe they act like that. They look like they smell like cat pee. That's how they talk about people. I think that they are very snobby, and I think they have a lot of things to say. I think they have a lot of things to say about the power structures that are in the British royal family as well. They should mind their step. Their biggest obstacle regarding Andrew's demotion is a new beginning. The Ace of Pentacles is about starting out and creating your own new beginning. And they don't have any plan for a new beginning. I don't know what his position is providing in terms of sustenance for the family, but I just don't think that they are as positioned as well as they would like to be. I think they do need the support from the royal family. Who or what supports their progress? That is the immediate family, Andrew and Fergie. So I'm going to pull some cards on that because I think there's some pressure coming from Andrew and Fergie for the two of them. Yes, Andrew and Fergie are pressuring them to make some noise about the circumstance. And I don't think that that's very fair, even though they are all full-blown adults. I don't think it's very fair. Key steps they need to take. 3 of Cups, they need to come on, get happy. Unseen motives. Oh, there it is. Destructor. When we get that Tower in reverse, I tell you guys this all the time. The way I read that, it's something we do to hamstring ourselves. It's something we do to disrupt our happy moments. So if key steps they need to take is to come on, get happy, they opt not to. They opt not to. What is our most possible outcome here? Ace of Swords. I feel that there's going to be a misstep and they will be removed from this particular pate. So let's wrap this up. So how are the princesses of York going to support each other? It's such a long reading. I didn't realize it was going to be this long. What are the princesses doing to support each other? Are they supporting each other? We'll have Beatrice on the left since she's firstborn. And Eugenie on the right. So Beatrice is looking backward at the negative things that have happened. And she does understand the judiciousness of King Charles in removing those titles from her father. She understands it. She would do the same. It's a hard call, but she understands that the optics are absolutely terrible on this. And I think that is what she's saying. Now, Eugenie is a little bit different. And Eugenie says, we can build our own world. We can have the House of York and keep that for ourselves. We can develop the House of York. And I think Eugenie is a bit more ambitious than Beatrice is. So what is their sister bond energy like right now? They are trauma bonded. That is trauma. Oh, that is definitely trauma bonded. They are definitely trauma bonded over this whole situation. So what can they do best to help each other survive, endure? Beatrice, remember those sweet times. Remember how great it was. And Eugenie, it is time to move on. So Beatrice, you can be nostalgic about it because I think she has a very healthy view of the nostalgia. But Beatrice really needs to move forward. Move forward on this one. Oh my goodness. How does Andrew himself look at his son-in-laws? How does he see his son-in-laws? So we've got Jack. Oh, that's Jack Brooksbank. I'm putting him over there. And Edo. So Edo, he definitely sees as a plus in the familia column. So we're not done yet. You know, my daughter is married to a count, you know, and he is unable to sweat as well. No, I'm kidding. Never heard anything about Edo not sweating. But he thinks that this is an extension of the line. And the way that Andrew is thinking about it, he's thinking about it in terms of historic princes and princesses and marriages that were done across country lines. So he's kind of thinking about it in that fashion. As far as Jack Brooksbank, here's that snobbishness again. So you guys remember from my reading on what Andrew thought about Catherine, Princess of Wales, when they first married, that she was like not up to snuff. She wasn't elite, or she wasn't noble enough to be married into the family. And subsequently, I think both girls were a little bit snobbish to her. He is a little bit snobbish about Jack, the bartender. We call him the bartender because he is the bartender. Little snobbish about him and could give or take him, which is alarming. One of my questions is, will the girls take on a more public role? But I think we've already answered this. Let's just fact check it. Will Beatrice take on more of a public role? Not decided yet. How about Eugenie? Eugenie, I don't think they want her in a public role again. I think she is a little problematic. I think she is opened her yap privately a little too much. So will Edo or Jack change their perspective between now and Christmas? Will they change their perspective on this between now and Christmas? Jack and Edo. So Jack, I think, has very poisoned thinking. I think this is Eugenie's husband up on the top. I think he has very poisoned thinking. I think he does what he does with ease because there is a support system behind via his wife and her connection to the royal family. I think he will find that between now and Christmas, their position that will be illuminated much more, albeit very slowly, but it will be illuminated, and then he will know that they're going to be in a position. If he is looking for social mobility, I think he gets smacked down with this one, and they say, no, it's not. We're not going to have any social mobility here. Now, Edo is a little bit different. Thunderclap moment here. The Tower card. When the Tower card's in the upright, it's something that happens to us. So I think decisions will be made, but he sees it as a blessing. He finds the silver lining here and says, I'll go tra-la-la. and we will stand fast for our little family here. I'm going to stand fast for my family name, and meaning his side of the family, his extended family, not the royal family. But I do think that he's like, whatever, like shake it off. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. Go get a villa in Italy. We'll go live in Italy now. Like, who wouldn't want that? So very, very interesting. I'm curious what you guys think, though. My curiosity about the world is something that has often come to the table and the cards here on my little podcast. And I like that you all are curious in this community as well. So I would love to know what you all think is going to happen with the son-in-laws and what is going to happen with the Princesses York. We are in strange times right now, and my hair is in my eye. I'm sorry, guys. My hair is really driving me nuts. I need a haircut so bad. But I really want to know what you guys think is an appropriate thing to happen to the Princesses of York. What do you think? How do you think the royal family should be handling this situation? Should they be catering to them? Should they be more protective of them? Should they really sever that line and say, hey, there's a hard line here, and we're only going to be managing the efforts and actions of the Waleses and the Edinburghs and the Princess Royale's family. What do you think they should do with the princesses of York? They're in a very precarious position, if you ask me. I think they become very difficult because they were minor players in the royal family. And now if we are trying to limit the royal family members, are they the most visible on the chopping block? I think so. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you want me to do Fergie perspective with the son-in-laws. I think that might be fun if you want it. I will be working on the predictions for 2026 starting next week. It's Thanksgiving week, so we're going to really start to crank that down. I'll be grading myself. Right now, I have a 70+% accuracy for my readings from my predictions from 2025. So I am pleasantly happy and excited about that. I didn't think I was going to have that high of a mark. So I don't know. I didn't think it was great. I would like to see 80%. Being the A-type person I am, I'd like to see 95%, but I didn't get that. But I've had some fun, and I've taken some other individuals and I've run their predictions through, and I got some shocking results, but I'm getting some good results. So, I'm going to wear that like a crown for the next few weeks. So, thank you guys so much for being here. Remember, if you'd like to get your own magical reading with me, you can use either of the links down below. You can go through Hipsy, where you can order recorded readings, be notified when I'm doing active instant readings online. The instant readings are really cool. You just press a couple of buttons and you show up on my screen, and we get to do a reading one-on-one. Or you can go through my Calendly link, where you can schedule a reading in the future. You can do the same thing through Hipsy, but some of you are more comfortable using the Calendly link, which is totally fine. For the next month, I'm doing price matching. So the pricing is basically going to be the same. There are some additional discounts that you can tap into on the Hipsy app. So if you want to go over there and give it a shot, that would be great. And we can give it a try. But I'm trying to keep the pricing exactly the same so that we can decide who wants to go where. I don't know if I'm going to keep both apps. I don't know if I'm going to keep one of them. I don't know how we're going to move into the future and 2026 in terms of scheduling, but I sure am having some fun with Hipsy right now. So hope to see you guys soon. Hope to see you on my schedule. I hope you're having a magical, amazing day. I will see you in the future.